Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's video. We are talking about e.l.f. Cosmetics in this one, who lately have been knocking it out of the park. So what I want to do today is basically a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I will be reviewing all the products as we go along. I have bought a lot of products recently from e.l.f. and a lot of them I have enjoyed thoroughly. But there are some that I'm not a fan of, so if you're interested to know which ones I like and which not, then keep watching. In addition to makeup, I have been really incorporating their skincare into my daily routines, and I have especially been loving this blue line that they have. I think it's the Holy Hydration, and they do these little sets that you can try out multiple different products from them before committing to the full size, so I think that's amazing. I haven't used everything from this Holy Hydration set just yet, but I have been using the makeup remover, the balm, which is amazing. It is just as good as the Clinique Take Off the Balm makeup removers, so if you like the Clinique one but don't want to spend that much money, get the e.l.f. one. It is so good. In addition, I have been obsessed with their face cream also. It's almost gone. I use it every morning and every night, and it smells so good, so I definitely want to pick up a full size of the makeup remover and the face cream. I'm pretty sure the eye cream, face wash and the hydrating booster drops that are here are also great. Another skincare thing from them, it's the Super Tonic. It's in this yellow packaging. I really like this one too, but fair warning, if you have sensitive skin, I don't think it's gonna be good for you. It says it is a toner with brightening alpha hydroxy acids, and it is supposed to be a gentle daily exfoliant, but my boyfriend used it and his skin went super red after using it, so if you have sensitive skin, then maybe this is not for you. But for my skin, which is like normal combinational oily, this is perfectly fine. Let's start with primer. I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip primer, which has taken the world by storm. So it's obviously like a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip primer, and this one is like super sticky, and it's supposed to make your makeup then stick to your skin better. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. brush actually that I have as well. It's actually for the Putty Primer, but you can use it for whatever you want. I think it's a decent primer. I don't know how it compares to the Milk one, but based on reviews, I don't think I need to spend the money on the Milk Hydro Grip primer, because I heard this one is pretty close to it. What I sometimes do when I don't want to wear like a full face of makeup, but I just need a little bit of life, I like to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter just on its own, and then I do maybe some brows and blush. But for a full face, I don't really use it because I have to go in and mattify my whole face, because otherwise I will look super oily. So I think today we're actually going to skip this one, but I do really like it. It's nice, but I prefer to wear it on its own rather than mixed into any foundations. I've gone ahead and started spot concealing with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I really like these concealers, like the hydrating one and the original. I'm just using the hydrating one now because I have this in a darker shade. I'm gonna use the normal one later to brighten underneath the eyes. I'm just gonna blend in everything with a sponge, and I'm gonna use the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist to wet the sponge. I don't actually have an e.l.f. sponge. They have a nice little trio on their website, but it's always sold out. A lot of the times I would just use the concealer on its own and then just top it with powder, but we're gonna go ahead and use the CC Cream as well today. I have the Camo CC Cream in the shade Light 210. I did actually order another shade before this, but that one was way too light. I will use the same sponge to blend out everything. I enjoy these CC creams. really any kind of CC or BB cream because it has a lighter coverage. Having said that, recently I have been actually more into full coverage. I feel like I'm going backwards with the trends. I know years ago it was super popular to have a full face, full coverage makeup, like foundation full coverage, concealer full coverage, powder, everything. And now we have moved on to like lighter coverage. But now that everybody's moving into lighter coverage, I feel like I am going into the more full coverage. So I'm just going the opposite way. But this CC cream and the e.l.f. concealers together plus powder, I mean, that will give you a pretty full coverage look. If you want to go lighter, then just wear this on its own with a little bit of concealer. But I feel like today, with everything I'm gonna use, it's gonna look pretty full coverage. I'm taking now the regular Camo Concealer and I'm gonna just brighten the under eye. This one is almost empty. I'm very proud when I use up products. And yes, I'm gonna use the same sponge, but I'm gonna use now the other end of it. Don't have an eyeshadow primer from e.l.f., so I'm just gonna go over my eyelids as well with a little bit of this concealer. And I will cheat now a little bit. I don't have like a setting powder from e.l.f., but I do have the powder puff, and I have the Essence All About Matte setting powder, which broke, but I've heard from a lot of people that their packaging breaks on this, but what do you expect? It's only a few euro. Just gonna set the under eye and really my T-zone, because that's where I get oily the fastest. I really enjoy this Essence powder as well. It's super affordable and super good, and I mean, I've hit pan on this, I'm so happy. And to set the rest of the face, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation, and this is in the shade Light 250. Similar to the CC Cream, I ordered this before and I got it in a shade way too dark. It's actually so dark that it could be a bronzer, which I did use. I did use it as a bronzer, but then it broke, so now I need to fix that. This powder foundation is also really good. It's also very long wearing. It has a ton of shades. The finish on this is really nice. I'll bring you up close just to show you. See the way my face is really matte now? It would not have made sense to put the e.l.f. Halo Liquid Glow underneath, because all of that dewiness and the shimmery goodness, it would have been gone. So that's why I prefer to wear this on its own. If you have like dry skin, I think it's good. You can mix this in with foundation. But for me, I do have a very oily T-zone. If I do that, I just end up looking like a grease ball. I cannot, however, wait for summer so I can use this on my body. I think that's gonna be really good. Let's move on to a little bit of a brow prep. This is the e.l.f. Brow Lift. It's a clear gel. I've been enjoying it a lot, as you can see. And I also got the matching brush. So you have here the spoolie and the little applicator. This is supposed to be a dupe for the ABH Brow Freeze, which again I haven't tried, but I don't think I need to. If you have been watching me for a while, you know that my brows always look different. I go through phases. I go through phases when I have the like skinny 90s brows, then I have the really like choppy brows. I do enjoy the kind of fluffy brow aesthetic a little bit, but I feel I'm most comfortable with just a regular brow shape and having it filled in, because I have a small face. And if I make my brows very fluffy, then they end up looking like caterpillars, and then they look really choppy, and that just doesn't fit with my face. So what I've been doing lately is I just use this clear gel. Just kind of make sure all the brow hairs are coated. And then I let it dry a little bit. I do comb up just a little bit. And once it has dried, then we'll go over with like powder or a pencil. This applicator is everything though. It's so handy. Like I just love doing this. It's like giving me the vibe of laminated brows. But I am gonna leave the brows here for a minute just to wait for the gel to dry a little bit more, because otherwise if you put in product now, it's just gonna mix with the gel and it's a whole mess. While we wait for the brows to dry, let's do bronzer and blush. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say bronzer. I do have two of the Luminous putty blushes and I have a Luminous putty bronzer. Tongue twisters everywhere today. I feel like I really haven't figured out how to use these products, because I like start putting them on and I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. And then it just changes and it starts to separate the foundation underneath. So I'm a little bit wary and scared to use these. And I don't have like powder bronzers or blushes from e.l.f. So we're just gonna have to pray that this is gonna work. Otherwise I might need to take my whole face off. What I also noticed with the putty bronzer is that it's very light. Like all the shades are very light, and the shade I got, the honey drip, I could have gone darker. It's super light, but we're gonna try and make it work. If not, then maybe I can use this broken powder foundation that I have for bronzer. Just gonna use a brush. I feel like I've had the most luck with a brush. And I feel like you can see it, but I have to be careful. If I put too much product on, it will separate everything else underneath. I also kind of feel like the pot itself is very small and I'm using like a mini brush. This could have been a little bit bigger, I think. I'm not enjoying how that's looking. It's kind of turning muddy. I feel like we got some color on the cheeks, but not a lot on the forehead. And I don't want to put this on my nose. I usually put a little bit of bronzer on my nose, but this tends to break up everything. And my nose is a special place anyway where the product doesn't want to stick. So just put a little bit on the chin and then maybe just on the neck here. Okay, now I've gone over. I cannot put any more of this bronzer. No, I cannot. Right, I need to put this down. If I put any more, then we're done. I got two shades for the blush. I have Maui and Belize. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but one is more, I don't even know what color this is, but the other one is more corally. Plummy, let's say. This one is more plummy. I feel like I want to use the lighter one. I mean, we can navigate this into like a Valentine's Day look. I can imagine I'm getting ready for Valentine's Day, so try to be a little bit more pink. Same with the blushes. I feel like the first few taps are fine, and then the more you use it, the worse it's gonna get. So I'm using a very light hand, picking up very little, and I'm just being super careful. I'm gonna focus mainly on the apples of my cheek. I don't want to like overlap with the bronzer too much. Like this looks okay, this looks nice, but I need a little bit more color. I feel like I've gone too close here to my pores. Try tap it down with my finger. I think we're gonna need to go in with the powder, because if I have too much glowy product here on my pores, then that's just gonna make me look super greasy. Looking close, the blush is looking okay, but I will go in quickly with the powder just in here. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a fan of the finish. I really feel like I need a powder blush to kind of even everything out. I know it's supposed to be e.l.f., but I think I'm gonna cheat a little bit and bring in a powder blush. Okay, so we're gonna cheat and bring in a blush from Essence. So we're not going over budget or anything because Essence is still super affordable. This is their Silky Soft Blush, Silky Touch Blush in the shade Babydoll. I actually really like this one, it's very nice. And I'm just lightly gonna go over. And I'm already liking that a lot better. Have you guys seen that blush hack actually, where you kind of go from your outer eye and then you go to your cheeks? I actually been loving that recently, so we'll do a little bit of that, if that's okay. We will do eyeshadow separately as well, but I've really been loving kind of connecting the outer corner and then going over to the cheeks. See that concealer is creasing here. That's why I don't like to use concealer as eyeshadow primer. If you have hooded eyes, then you know the struggle is real with eyeshadow. I like how that looks. What do you think? Before we go on to highlighter, let's finish off the brows. I have the classic brow pencil from e.l.f. This is like the choppier one. This is only like a few euro. Like super affordable, and it's pretty good. And it has a spoolie at the end. Like, what more do you want? And I'm just gonna follow my brow hairs. I'm just gonna fill in. Might be a little bit too dark for me, this brow pencil, but it's the only brow color that I have. I mean, I could use eyeshadow to fill in the brows, but we're doing this instead now. I hate filling in eyebrows. They always end up looking different. I think they're pretty decent now, and because we used that gel before, they are super, like, for lack of a better word, glued on. Like, they're not going anywhere, these brows. Let's play with some eyeshadow. I do have two of their No Budge cream eyeshadows. I'm not really a fan of these either. I have one that's like a brown shade, which, you know, technically would be like a good base, and then I have one that is nudie color in the pot, but when you put it on your eyes it's very pinkish. Again, I feel like maybe it's just my incompetence, but on hooded eyes it's very kind of hard to use these, so I think we're just gonna stick to the eyeshadow palette. I have this palette, the new Classics, and it is surprisingly good. I mean, nice little shade range, and the quality is pretty good. Oh, I forgot, I do have these. These are the No Budge shadow sticks, and I actually really like this one. It's in the shade Champagne Crystal, and this is like perfect for like inner corner and also like a base for shimmery shadows. This one I like. That was the second one I had. Copper Chic, like a more darker color. Again, I think we're gonna stick to powder, but maybe we will add a little bit of rose gold glitter since it's, you know, a Valentine's Day. I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer because we're gonna do eye makeup. I also put a little bit more concealer on my eyelids. I don't know how good or bad of an idea that was, but let's just get going. I'm gonna go in first with the shade Cream here. I like to do this always when I do my eyeshadow, to put like a layer down, and this is good so I can set the concealer as well. I am kind of enjoying the blush in the outer corner, so I'm gonna put a little bit more. And to deepen up the crease, I'm gonna put a little bit of Charmer into the outer corner with this small little brush. I think this is a Urban Decay brush. Yeah, it's from the Naked Smoky palette. What are you doing outside of your palette, sir? I don't have a plan what I'm doing. I'm just kind of letting the brush glide me. Glide me? Guide me. Well, I guess the brush is gliding. So glide away, brush, glide away. So it looks like we're kind of going for like a pinky purple look here, and I feel like these two eyes are totally different. We're just gonna have to go with it. If these eyes end up looking different, then that was the plan. I'm gonna turn over the brush and just, I feel like with this little brush it's taking too long. Watch me now mess up everything. I think now is a good time to use the shadow stick, the one in Champagne Crystal, and we can put it in the inner corner. That's actually already quite pretty. You could leave it like that, but we're not gonna. So this is a glitter eyeshadow, and it's called Flirty Birdy, which is perfect for Saint Valentine. The only thing with these glitter eyeshadows is that they're very, you know, how do I say it? I mean, you can clearly see. So this is where I put the glitter and there's like a harsh edge. So we're gonna need to figure out how we're gonna blend it together with the rest of the eyeshadow, which is basically matte. But these glitter eyeshadows, I wore, I think, the gold one on New Year's Eve. Lasted pretty long time. I mean, these are like exactly the same like the Stila glitter eyeshadows. Remember those? Those were super popular. I'm just going in with this brush that I used for my blush and try to kind of blur the edges here a little bit. And then maybe drag some of this glitter over to the outer edge, even though I just want the glitter to be in the inner corner. And now I want to add more, but I'm just adding like the tiniest little bit to the very inner corner. To the very inner corner. To the most inner part possible, so we don't lose too much of the glitterness. It looks okay from afar when I look into the mirror here, but close up it kind of looks flat. I don't know, you tell me, what do you see? I have a feeling that I really want to top this off now with like a shimmery powder eyeshadow. I think we're really sensing the theme here that I'm not a fan of cream products and I prefer powder products. There looks to be a nice kind of rosy shimmer shade here called Cosmo. So let's try put that on the inner corner part section area. It looks to be falling apart, this glitter eyeshadow. I don't know if it's because I have hooded eyelids and it doesn't like that, or if it's the glitter itself. I mean, New Year's Eve I did have quite a bit of Prosecco, so maybe I don't remember what happened to my eyeshadow. I don't think it's bad. I think that's quite okay. I think we can put a little bit underneath the lower lash line, some of this Charmer shade, and then we can put something underneath the brow, and then I think we're almost done with the eyes, and of course mascara. So taking the shade Charmer and putting it really only on half of the eye here, because I don't like to put too much on the lower lash line. I have small eyes as well. I have small eyes, small face, and if I make my under eyes too dark, it just doesn't look good on me. That's why I also rarely wear mascara underneath on my lower lashes, but we will today. For underneath the brow bone, I'm gonna use this one here called Glamour. I love the shimmery shades in this Classics palette. I mean, they're so good. I could even use this as my highlighter for my face, even though we really don't need highlighter on the face, do we? Is this the Putty blush, or is that the Essence one we put on top? Don't know. Before I put on mascara, I do like to set my face. I don't like to do it while I have mascara on, because the mascara always smudges, like every time. So I'm gonna do the setting spray now, and we're using the same Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. I like the smell of this. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of like a time when I was small and like my mom's bedroom when she was getting ready. It reminds me of that. I'm getting totally nostalgic vibes here. Let me put on mascara real quick and I'll be back. I don't have an e.l.f. one. Whoops. I know they have a new one. I'm planning to get that one, but for now, Essence is helping us out again. This is their Double Trouble waterproof mascara. And here is the finished eyeshadow look. Okay, we are back zoomed out, and now I'm really debating, should we put on extra highlighter or not? Because I do want to, but we don't really need to, do we? And we still have lips left. For highlighter, I do have another cream product. This is the Jellypop highlighting stick, and it smells really, really nice. It has that artificial watermelon smell. It's really nice. Maybe we'll just put a little bit on the nose. Maybe tap over the cheeks just a little bit, because I am a highlighter addict and I feel incomplete if I don't go over my cheeks, even though I really don't need to. And if anything, I think that muted our highlight. All right. For lips, we don't really have a lot of choice. I have two lip liners here. One is like a brown and one is a nude color. And then I have one of the lip stains. So I think we're gonna go for like the nudie colored lip liner. And oh my god, I'm blind. I can't see what color it is. I'm gonna have to put it in the description bar because I just can't read it. It's so small. I like the liner. It doesn't feel dry. There's also a bunch of colors available for these lip liners. I usually fill in the full lip with lip liners just because it makes then the lipstick or gloss or whatever stay on longer. The only lip stain that I do have is in the shade Basic Beige. I wish I had like a pink lipstick from e.l.f. I think that would look good here. I know they did come out with like 10 shades of lipstick, so I may pick up some of those. But other than that, I think we are finished. What do we think? For me personally, I think the biggest hero products are like the base, the face products, so primer, concealer, foundation, powder foundation. I think those are all perfect, like really good. I also really enjoy the brushes that I have. I want to get more. Brow lift, really good. This eyeshadow palette, the new classics, this one is really good and it's super affordable. I think it's like 15 euros, but if you're like a member on the e.l.f. website, there's always like deals, so you can get this definitely for cheaper. I do have my gripe with the cream products, so the blushes, bronzers, eyeshadows. I am not the biggest fan of them, but maybe it's just me and I don't know how to properly use them. However, I will keep testing them, and if I do figure out how to use them better, I will definitely let you know. All in all, I think e.l.f. is an amazing brand, and if you're not a makeup collector or addict like me and you just need makeup for every day or special occasion, whatever, but you don't care what it is, then just get e.l.f. They have everything and anything, and at super affordable prices. You can't go wrong. I just want to thank you again for spending your time with me today and watching my video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, see you later.